What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Got some breaking news. It's looking like Terrence Crawford is going to be matching up with Iggy. I can't pronounce his full first name. Just call him Iggy Korvalev from Russia this fall. That's what Bob Arum is saying. That's the likely matchup. It's likely that the WBO is going to order that fight, as Iggy is the #1 contender for the WBO belt at the 147-pound division. And it's looking like that's going to be the likely matchup in the fall. And most likely it's going to be in Bud Crawford's home state of Nebraska. Either Omaha or Lincoln, looking like the two front runners as far as the cities in Nebraska for Bud Crawford's next fight. You know, this was the worst kept secret in boxing. Everybody knew this was going to be the likely matchup. You know, Bob Arum did a lot of interviews saying that he was trying to make the fight with Errol Spence for October, but everybody knew that Errol Spence had already had the fight lined up with Shawn Porter after he defeated Mikey Garcia. You know, after the fight in the ring, he called Manny Pacquiao in the ring, and he wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao in the same venue, Cowboy Stadium, and that didn't take place as Pacquiao got a match up with Keith Thurman for the WBO welterweight title. He's going to be putting his super welterweight title on the line, Keith Thurman versus Pacquiao and his regular WBA title. So once that was confirmed, you know, everybody knew that Errol Spence said his backup plan, if he couldn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, was to fight Shawn Porter, and that'll be a unification fight, most likely in September. You know, we don't know the date yet, but it's going to be in the month of September. They're looking at 3 potential dates: September 1st, September 21st, and September 28th. Those are the 3 dates that they're looking at in September for Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter. But anyway, though, we you know, Terrence Bud Crawford is going to be matching up with Iggy Korvalev. He fought Ray Robinson in his last fight. Didn't look that impressive. It was a very non-action fight. He allowed Ray Robinson to do what Ray Robinson does as far as moving around, throwing a few punches and moving around, using the whole ring and using his jab and fighting at a distance. And he didn't really do a good job of cutting the ring off at all. Iggy Korvalev, man, he landed the more harder punches, but he let Ray Robinson control the tempo and the pace of the fight. He let Ray Robinson basically fight the fight that he wanted to fight instead of the fight that Iggy wanted him to fight. But he was able. I thought he probably still won that fight. You know, I had that fight. Him winning that fight anyway, maybe 7 rounds of 5, 8-4 for Iggy. But it was a lot of rounds that wasn't a lot of action going on. So you give any of those rounds to Ray Robinson, you know, I can easily see how they had that fight a draw as it ended up being. So that's what we're looking at, man. Terrence Bud Crawford versus Iggy Korvalev, man, for the fall, man. Sometime in October in Lincoln, Omaha. Okay, in other boxing news, man, let's talk about Triple G, man. It's looking like Triple G is going to get mandated and get in a purse bid with Sergey Deverenchenko, and that's looking like the likely next matchup. You know, it was speculation going on for the last week that maybe we would get a Triple G versus Jaime Munguia fight if Canelo Alvarez agreed to terms with Sergey Kovalev. But that doesn't look like it's going to take place. It looks like Triple G and his team are looking to add a strap and get that IBF strap and fight Deverenchenko, and then that'll give them probably a little bit more leverage and a little more power, influence, whatever words you may use, in negotiations with Canelo Alvarez when they're likely to fight May of 2020. So that's what we're looking at, man. So it's looking like Team Triple G look like they're leaning more toward fighting Sergey Deverenchenko. I'm butchering his name, Sergey Deverenchenko, for the IBF middleweight title instead of taking on Jaime Munguia. You know, I thought the Jaime Munguia fight probably would pay Triple G more, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, with this new DAZN deal he got, maybe he's getting a set amount no matter who he's fighting. You know, he can fight Rolls Royce or Sergey Deverenchenko, Jaime Munguia, or even Canelo. Maybe he's got a set deal there. He's got $100 million deal, but I was assuming that was based on, you know, that he has the potential to earn $100 million. That not necessarily mean he's gonna get $100 million, especially if he's fighting a bunch of bunch of fights that nobody cares about. I don't think the zone will be willing to pay him a guarantee of 20-25 million for fighting a bunch of bums. But maybe that's in the deal. I don't know. We just know that he signed $100 million deal. We don't know the incentives or the kickers or whatever it is in the contract that stipulates that he's gonna get this set amount, or is it based on, okay, he's gonna fight Canelo and he's gonna generate the money from the Canelo fight plus these other fights, and it has a potential to grow up to 100 million, or is it a set that he's getting $100 million no matter, you know, who he fights, you know, outside of Canelo. It don't matter who he fights, he's gonna get to $100 million. So we don't know what this case may be, but anyway, looking at it in the old ways, on if it wasn't on a subscription-based network, app, subscription-based app, if he was fighting on, say, HBO, it would be way more money for a Jaime McGill fight, fighting a Mexican fighter with a belt coming up from 154, than fighting a Sergey Deverenchenko, a guy from Russia that a lot of people don't even know. So we'll see what happens, man. But obviously they opted for they look like they're looking to try to get that IBF belt and make Triple G a world champion again. And that's what they're looking at. It's kind of interesting that they did not take that route a couple of years back when they could have fought Billy Joe Saunders instead of fighting Canelo the first time and become undisputed. You know, but they went with Canelo, but they knew Canelo was going to be worth more money than fighting Billy Joe Saunders. And this time they're taking the opposite track. I guess, you know, different times and different it's a different situation now. So they're looking at trying to add a belt to Triple G, because they feel that they probably shouldn't have lost those belts in the first place to Canelo. We'll see what happens though, man. But that's what we're looking at. And again, Terrence Crawford versus Igor Korvalev this fall is the most likely matchup. And we're going to get Triple G versus Sergey Deverenchenko. It's looking like that's the likely matchup for the IBF middleweight title. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.